Brought to you by WKTV. I'm Wayne Thomas. Welcome to another Grand Rapids Ghost Hunters Paranormal Podcast.
My name's Brandon Jose, and thank you for Kent County Paranormal, and thank you for joining our forum in search of paranormal possibilities.
Please keep an open mind about things that you might not easily believe as we explore the mysterious. Once again, in the house, the man behind the curtain, the wizard behind the curtain, Gene Gregory. This is Gene's show, WKTV. You can go to the Journal, and you can listen to the shows listed. All they're easy to find. Grand Rapids Ghost Hunters 1 through 19 it will be. Or else go to Facebook, WKTV Facebook, the Whole Picture Podcast, and check us out there. That way you can watch it. Tonight's guest, fans of Michigander Man. Now, why don't you guys just go ahead and introduce yourselves, and then what we'll do is a little review of the previous podcast. So go ahead and introduce yourselves.
My name is Rob. I'm Michigander Man on YouTube.
And I am Buddy Anderson, otherwise known as the Traveling Buddy on YouTube.
And you guys specialize in vlogs.
Vlogging,
Yes.
Yeah. Historical places. I do a little bit of everything. I do like the paranormal. I'm pretty into that. Then I'm some abandoned places and then historical stuff. Anything interesting.
You've been all over Michigan, and you're really popular.
Yeah, I feel that. I'm like, everybody thinks I'm a star. I'm like, no, I'm just me. That's it.
Yeah,
You
he's
know.
got a swell head.
I know. I'm not sure if I haven't been told you're a star yet, but
Right.
maybe. I just figured that out
I'm
by
getting
myself.
a little well known.
Right, I think that you are. But what I did hear, you're one of the nicest guys that people ever met.
Right.
That's really nice that they would
That is
say
true.
that.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah.
is true.
I said I'm the same. Hey, you meet me in person. I'm the same way in person in my videos. I'm as real as you can be. So.
What you see is what you get, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my friends that said that you were so nice are from Lakeshore Paranormal,
Yep.
Darren Dykehouse, and Jamie Ray.
Yeah.
Right.
Those are my buddies. We don't get together very often, but when we do, we always have a good time, and it's always fun hanging out with them.
And you also worked with Brandon before
Yep.
on a case. So what I'd like to do is maybe list, because there's so many places that you've been, and all I did was list the ones that had paranormal possibilities, and this list is extensive, and then we'll break them down, but I want to list them because there's so many. Mouth Cemetery with Darren, Oak Grove Cemetery, Historic Oak Hill Cemetery, and the Crying Mary there, and then the Hilltop Graveyard, Okemos grave site, abandoned Sour Cross Cemetery, Alpine Cemetery. You went to an old country grave. I think that there's probably more. And then the museums. So two of my favorite places, cemeteries and museums. You went to the Zeeland Decker
Oh yeah.
Huis
Yep.
Museum.
House. Yep.
And then the Jenison Historical Museum, Allegan County Jail Museum that we've also investigated. And one that's really nothing paranormal, but I'd like to talk about it if we get time, and that's the Gilmore Car Museum.
Yeah, that place is cool.
Yeah,
That's an
I hope
awesome
we get
place.
a chance to talk about that. And then other locations.
I've actually, it's well, it's not really a museum, but it's a, MSU owns it. It's W.K. Kellogg's mansion. I've been there too, and that's free of charge and filmed there and stuff too, and that's a neat place.
Yeah, I have other locations that you've been to. The Silverside Submarine,
Yeah, that was awesome.
the Poorhouse. Now, see, we've talked about the Poorhouse.
I went there with
On this show.
Brandon, the poorhouse.
Oh, Brandon, you went to
No, not that one.
Oh,
That
not
was the
Brandon,
POW camp. I think you meant
Lakeshore, man.
Lakeshore,
Darren.
okay,
Yeah.
right, and then the Honolulu House in Marshall.
Yeah. We
So-
actually got to go there. That was actually pretty
Marshall
cool.
is like one of the nicest small towns anybody could go to, because they welcomed us with complete open
Oh, yeah.
arms there, and they basically gave us a tour of the town. They said they were going to open all the museums up for us and stuff, and free of charge, everything. And Buddy's been there a little bit more than I have, but I want to get back
I've been
there.
back there many times, and I went to the Skeleton Fest they have down there.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
That was cool. They decorate all the shops, decorate skeletons, put them out in front. You walk around, and it was just cool. And then I just went down there to do their Christmas parade. I tell you what, I thought I was in a Hallmark movie. I'm not kidding you. It made me feel like I was in a Hallmark movie.
Everybody was dressed up in costume.
No, not really. It was just the town is all
Decorated.
lit up.
Right.
I mean, literally, the main street, it looked like it was something from a Hallmark movie. I'm not kidding you. It's just like, it blew my mind.
Yeah, I know you've been to a lot of these little small.
I love the
towns in
small
Michigan.
town stuff. Is so cool.
You've
Yeah.
been to the oldest school in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
You've been to the Underground Railroad cave.
No, that was
Yeah.
Bear Cave.
Bear Cave
You've been
And
to abandoned World War II POW camp
a couple times. Yeah.
with Brandon.
With Brandon.
All the times, yeah.
When I went with Brandon is when I caught stuff there, and I was not expecting what I caught, the EVPs and stuff. And I got friends that help me with catching EVPs and stuff. They're called What the Paranormal. They live in Texas, and they're friends of me and buddies,
Yeah.
and they call us their Bratty brothers.
Yeah, we're the Bratty brothers. They're the
So-
Bratty Twinkies.
the Twinkies. Yes.
They specialize in paranormal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. What the Paranormal and Entity Paranormal Investigators. Her name's April, and she does like spirit box sessions and stuff. They live in, I think she lives in North Carolina, and What the Paranormal, they're in Texas. But they're planning traveling here to Michigan one day, but we talk to them almost daily. So
Okay. Well, we like to start out with a little review, and just so happens that it was Darren Dykehouse was the last podcast, and you guys do have a history together.
mm-hmm.
And now, when Darren was on the show, we talked about, we had some equipment in here. We had some crystals. You didn't show up with a pocket full of rocks, did you?
No, no,
Well,
no
some-
rocks.
Okay, and that means I don't have to go out and buy any new stuff here, because every time we have a new show, like they're specialized. You got to get this, and so I have bought a couple of things. I bought into it, although I've been a little reluctant. We both have. Everybody on this show has been a little reserved about that, just going out and buying crystals and thinking that we've all of a sudden
Right.
inherited some new powers because of that. But Darren was, he talked highly of you, like I said. We talked about a condition. It's called third man factor. It's something that happens if you climb mountains and you're secluded, you're extremely fatigued, dehydrated, hungry.
Mm-hmm.
And what it can do is your mind can play tricks on you, and you can create what is like a spirit. And then Brandon brought up also at that same point PK, or telekinesis, or psychokinesis they call it now. Also something that's the power of the mind. So if you're out there investigating, whether you guys or paranormal investigators, you have to keep stuff like that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it might not, everything you see might not or hear be a ghost. You know, there could be other real world explanations.
Right.
Now, do you
Yeah.
guys do, when you go into these things, do you try to debunk stuff that you come across that looks paranormal?
Not totally. Like when we went to the Felt Mansion, I told him, I said, I'm not a big ghost hunter. I'm not gonna. That's what my channel's about. I'm a traveler, but I will dabble in it. And I do believe in ghosts. I have, believe it or not, in my past, I have seen what I consider was a ghost.
What did it look
But
like?
it was actually, believe it or not, it was a summer place we had up. I don't know if you know where Silver Lake Sand Dunes is at. We had a summer place up there. Well, I had a paddle boat. Used to go paddle, go fishing out on the lake. Well, we had just gotten out of school, for the summer. Went up there, and we got up there late at night, so went to bed, and I got up bright early in the morning, go fishing right away. Got my paddle boat out. I'm out there trolling around, and next thing you know, out of nowhere, out of the fog, because it was foggy out that morning, this little sailboat come out of nowhere. scared the heck out of me. I'm thinking to myself, who the heck's out sailboating this early in the morning in the fog? And I see the people, a man and a woman sitting on there. And they kind of waved at me. I waved back at them, and I was like, just went back going fishing. Well, I talked to the neighbor later the day, and I told him about, these crazy people out there sailboating it early in the morning. And he goes, what do these people look like? Kind of described them. He went inside, got a newspaper from a week before we got up there. There was a picture in there. These two people went out there, flipped over on their sailboat and drowned out there in the lake. And I swear to God, that was those people that waved at me.
Look like regular people.
Yeah.
Little ghost ship.
Yeah. Man, I was like, that was them. I know it was
That's
them.
interesting.
They're still out there sailing around on the lake.
Yeah. I've never seen a ghost. I've never have. I did this for 7 years, ghost hunting. Never saw one, but Brandon did.
Yeah,
So,
it's like whenever I've seen them, they've always looked flesh and blood human. So that's like my whole thing is like, I might have seen a lot more than what I know because they look
Right.
like they were a flesh and blood human. So you kind of, you don't pay attention to it, But
Well, I actually lived in my uncle's house after he passed away. When we were growing up, he passed away, so we moved into the house. Well, I lived in his bedroom, and his bedroom didn't have an actual light switch, light in the ceiling and all that. We had a little lamp that sat on the wall. And I'm not kidding you. It was, once in a while, that light would start flickering. My mom said something. One day I had to have it. I said, somebody told me, but you could be haunted by your uncle. So I sit there. I'm sitting in the house. I saw the light flickering. I said, all right, Glenn Randall, knock it off. Light stopped flickering. So I freaked people out. I come over here, you see that light flickering? I was like, see that light flickering? Watch this. All right, Glenn Randall, knock it off.
It stopped.
It would stop.
scold a ghost. You could temporarily get rid of a ghost, maybe, by scolding
Well, he was
it.
a practical joker. He was.
Yeah,
so
so
he
it's
was
kind of
always-
it's a family one. So
exactly. He was
yeah.
a practical joker. So yeah, he was always playing jokes.
So you think you've been sensitive all your life, maybe?
I'm not really. I mean, I would say I don't say I don't believe in ghosts, but
Right place,
Like I
right
said,
time, a couple
right.
times.
well, like I said, when I went to the Felt Mansion, those pictures I took, I'd never expected
Yeah, well,
that.
that sent shivers up my spine. He said, Rob, you're not going to believe what I caught. I'm like, what? And I said, we talked about it too. I said, buddy, when we went through that one room, there was nobody in there.
Right.
Right.
There was nobody there. Then we got in our video that I don't know, either his or mine, we got a comment saying it was fake or something like that. And I'm like,
How would they
How
know?
could we fake that?
How would they know?
Yeah,
These
how
are the
would they-
pictures that you shared with us before
Yeah.
we went
Yeah.
on here.
Yeah.
Right,
No,
you had
like,
about
there's
3 of
just-
them.
Like I said, I never expected, especially that face that was behind me in the mirror. I was like,
Yep, Mrs.
Whoa,
Felt is
you
watching
know.
us. I'm like,
Now I will agree that there's people that are on YouTube that, I'm sorry, to me, they're somewhat bigger YouTubers that are paranormal, and I watch them and I'm like, are you serious here?
Stuff they're presenting as,
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're like doing that.
oh, jumping around.
I'm like,
it's like,
With some TV shows like that too.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, and you're supposed to be making me believe this?
I'm not going to say that I've never jumped. I have jumped. But
right.
it was when I had a bat right in the face, when I opened up the door, but I haven't jumped because of anything.
Well, they both jumped
paranormal.
at Belding, I think, when that furnace kicked on.
Yeah, so I've had a couple times out there that I have been startled, but with me it wasn't anything paranormal. I really don't think we need to be afraid of ghosts. There might be some vengeful spirits out there or entities. Hopefully you're not going to run into that kind. If you
Right.
I
do,
hope not.
they will be showing off. You guys ever take any precautions because you do run into paranormal?
Not really. When I go with Darren and them, they always say a prayer and stuff like that.
Oh,
And
cool.
All right.
If I know I'm going to some place that's like supposed to be pretty haunted, I'll ask Darren or somebody to go with me or whatever. Because Darren's got all the equipment.
Right.
And all
Right,
that.
like
I
said,
don't have that.
I don't dabble in the paranormal full time, but I'm like, but if I do like when we went to Mount Cemetery, there was that one thing he said was, well, as soon as you walk out of there, because there's like these 2 poles that are there, you're supposed to touch the 2 poles, so
Yeah.
that way you're safe. Once you leave that cemetery. So I was like, well, I made sure I touched those poles.
So did I. When we went in and when we left there.
Jamie Ray blessed me with some holy water. When we did that private case. I actually have a couple EVPs I will play maybe later. Do you have your camera with you? Did I see your camera with you?
My camera?
Oh, your camera.
No, I'm actually recording
setting
right
up.
there. Actually,
Yeah.
What kind of equipment do you use?
I use my cell phone.
Oh yeah.
he usually uses a cell phone.
That's all I
use my
use.
camera. I use a little Canon camera.
Just basic stuff. I don't have high tech equipment or recorders or anything. I just have my cell phone. That's
And
all.
of course, my
I've
cell
caught
phone
stuff
I
on.
use for taking pictures and stuff like that. And
Now you put a lot of vlogs out there. I know that you do, Robert. I haven't really checked out your show yet.
no,
buddy,
mine. I've only been doing it for almost 2 years now, and I met him shortly after I started. I just started traveling around, and I happened to be watching one of the other guys I was watching, and he was doing a live stream, and he said, "Well, how's it going, Michigander, man?" Well, that's originally what my YouTube name was going to be. I was going to call myself the Michigander.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, it doesn't have the right ring, and my name is actually Buddy. So somebody said, I heard something on television about, find a traveling buddy and all that. Well, that's got a nice ring to it. When I heard Michigander, I was like, I looked him up, and we've been friends ever since. We've been collabed many times.
We went to Gatlinburg together.
Gatlinburg.
That's where we met up with What the Paranormal, and then they have an amazing channel, What the Paranormal. They've been to some really crazy places and gotten touched and scratched and
All right.
yeah.
I have pictures of scratches. Right. That's maybe like one of them vengeful type entities, something that's not nice. And that's why maybe some protection, like you say, a prayer or something wouldn't hurt, or a pocket full of rocks, I guess.
Right.
I mean, I'm going to start putting some faith in some of these crystals. Any idea? We did "Bad to the Bone" for your literary reference. Any idea why I picked that song?
I was gonna use it as in my video, my intro at one time. So
That's exactly the reason.
Yep.
Yeah, looking through your stuff, and I thought, well, shoot, he was going to use this as his intro, so I'm going to use it. And I think it's fitting because I really think you are bad to the bone. All these vlogs you're putting out and keeping people familiar with what goes on here in Michigan in these little towns. The Felt isn't very far away from us.
no.
What, 30 miles maybe?
Yeah, it ain't.
If
It's like
right?
15 minutes away from here.
Right, in Allegan.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's go, maybe we can start there, a little bit of the history behind that, why they think what's haunted out there. And I think one of the scariest things is these melon heads.
I've heard that story. Yeah. I haven't seen them.
Yeah. Brandon, you got some background for Felt?
Yeah, well, I mean, the Felt Mansion was, I'm trying to remember what he made. I think it was some sort of like the felt or whatever he made. He was an inventor. I can't remember what the thing.
I think he was from Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was Chicago. He was,
And he came here.
Yeah. So then, he came up there. I know, his wife, I think, eventually died shortly after they kind of moved in there, right before they were going to move in. So then she's reported to be the one haunting that. And then, the melon head ones it's supposed to have been the building that they say was it wasn't anything, but it was supposed to be like an asylum or whatever there, where a doctor experimented on I'm not going to try to pronounce the word. But
hydrocephalus or something.
Yeah, something
I
like
don't
that.
know.
Yeah, but
With like water on the
it's
brain.
like water on the brain, so they have a bigger, a swelled head. But those legends, if you actually follow it too, there's the same legend I think in Ohio and Pennsylvania. So it's actually different parts of the country have the exact same story. And I think it's more kind of urban legend that somebody kind of traveled along, but every urban legend sometimes has a little thread of truth. So it's hard really to say, but.
Yeah, whether these kids escaped or they just let them go at a certain point, and then they said they were in the woods. They were hanging out in the woods with
I think
melon heads.
I heard the Felt Mansion was a hospital at one time. Then I think somebody said it was a jail too, also. But
Yeah, it was like a Michigan police,
it was a Midway house or something like that.
So it's kind of had a few different
yeah.
things through the years. That was abandoned for a long time, and
Yep.
so
Now, how did that work? Did you have to pay to get in there?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did have to pay it.
That was it like 21 bucks or something like that. It
Oh, that's
wasn't
not
that bad, no.
Yeah. And now, do they do like wedding receptions and stuff?
They do everything there. You can actually rent the Felt Mansion out. I think it's expensive though.
And stay the night there. And
You could
all
stay the
that,
night
you know.
there, but it's expensive, I guess, for a week, like $1,000 or something. But I said maybe we need to get like 12 or 13 paranormal investigators to stay
Right.
there and then do overnight investigation and stuff. So that would be
Exactly.
awesome.
Yeah, that'd be the way to do it. Yeah.
There's a lot of stories there. The one story, I think one of the workers was shoveling coal or something in the barn, and he had a heart attack and died in the barn that's on the property, and he's supposed to be haunting the barn and stuff there.
Yeah, I think there might have been a couple deaths
Mm-hmm.
there. Whether it has to do anything with the paranormal or like what Brandon said, it's just some kind of urban legend. But it does have a good story behind
Yeah.
it. And that's what you guys did together. You
Yeah,
guys
and
Yeah,
that's where
we
we
did.
caught
When,
those.
yep. He told me that they were having a thing, and I was like, and it was around Halloween time, and I was like, it would be perfect video to do
Yes.
for Halloween.
Yeah,
Mhm.
right.
You know.
And then did you get EVP, Ghost Voice, recorded there?
On the, I
At
think
Felt?
the people that were
They had a ghost. They had a ghost adventure people. They were there. I'm not sure what. I can't remember what their group was, but they actually had these things, and I did one of those where it has the light on it, and then he says, "Yeah, you wave it around, and if it goes green, that means there's a spirit in a way." I was walking through the bedroom once, and it went right by the bathroom, and the next thing you know, it went green. You know.
Sounded like you had a K2,
Yeah, I think
it
it was a
that's what
K2,
I think
yeah.
that was what it was
what
called.
it sounds like with the different colors.
And there was other people that had the one where it tells you, your words come up, and,
Right.
all that kind of stuff. And
I caught, on my video I did, I think I caught some EVPs unexpectedly. Like a woman humming, and I think a woman singing or something.
It's
That was
interesting.
unexpected. I wasn't
Yeah.
expecting to catch that.
See,
but-
humming
Mhm.
is something that we've had quite a bit.
Whistling's quite a bit, yeah.
Mhm.
And
Even
whistling had a-
audibly at
yeah.
Belding Library.
So when I go to these places, I don't go to expect to catch anything. I go for the history and stuff,
Right.
and then if I catch something, then I do. But I don't go there expecting I'm gonna catch something.
Sure.
So
But you did get some video that may be something paranormal. Like you showed us some
Mhm.
pictures. Maybe somebody standing in the window after you got outside.
yeah, that was
Right.
cool.
and then when we went to the Mount Cemetery, we went there on Devil's Night, and that's because it was Halloween. What the heck, I'll go out to
I
to a
didn't think about
cemetery in the
that.
middle of the night. That doesn't scare me. But what I'll admit, when I was looking at my pictures, once again, that one is I don't have them on my phone yet right now, but I have the one pictures where it was raining. It started raining a little bit, but there was some of them where you could see where it was shooting up.
Mm-hmm.
There was like a light, where something reflected off, and it was something was shooting
Some
up.
kind of an orb.
Yeah.
So it wasn't rain.
Couldn't
You know it
explain
wasn't
it.
rain. It could have been an orb.
Mm-hmm.
That's what
Where was that location?
Mouth Cemetery.
Okay.
Mount Cemetery.
Yep.
I'm trying to think what the name of the town is.
Mouth you did with Darren. And out there is
Jamie.
Captain Robertson.
Yeah,
They say
He's buried there. Yeah.
haunts the
and supposedly some
cemetery.
Indians are buried
He's
there too.
Supposed to haunt the lighthouse that's over there too. I can't think of the white. I forgot the name of the lighthouse, but it's up that way.
Little Sable Point.
No, I don't think that's the name of it. But it's like, it's kind of a weird name. The mouth, why they would name it Mouth Cemetery, but it was basically the mouth of the river or whatever.
yeah.
That's how they got the name from it. Supposedly it goes back further than I thought too. I guess it goes back a couple hundred years, and there's supposed to be like an Indian burial ground there. So
You said it was like way back.
Yeah, it's way
Secluded.
back
it's
in.
very secluded.
I mean, it took us a minute to find.
We got
it.
lost
Yeah.
for a
yeah,
minute.
yeah. I've been out there. You basically go down a 2-track to get to
Mhm.
the cemetery. So that should tell you how far. It's kind of isolated.
Yeah.
Well, what time of the day were you there? Or
This
night?
was during the night.
Yeah,
This was that night, Devil's Night.
We went a little earlier to meet up with everybody. I think that was the first time I met Darren was when we went to Mouth Cemetery, and Jamie Ray. I knew Jamie Ray for a while, but we never got time to meet up or anything. Stuff always came around, but then we finally got to do it, and that's when we all got together at the Mouth Cemetery, and that was pretty cool. It's in Montague, Michigan.
That's what it was called, Montague.
So whatever lighthouse is in Montague.
Yeah, I can't think.
Michigan has so many of them, and a lot of them have reputations.
That White House is supposed to be haunted by the captain, and I want to go there. I want to do I've not investigated there. I was trying to get in there, but it's I think some people say as soon as you mention, can we do an investigation there? They're like, no, it's not haunted.
Right.
Nope, we don't want that here. Some people accept it, some people don't.
Yeah, I've ran into that a lot. It depends on who you ask. You can come back and ask somebody else and then get in there.
Mm-hmm.
You ask the right person. If they've had...
just kind of check in, see if the manager's changed a little
Right.
after a few years or whatever. We've done that before, too.
That works.
Yeah.
Right? Especially if the managers had some sort of a paranormal experience themselves.
Yeah.
All right.
So then they're...
I tell people, like, I don't just do paranormal stuff. I like the history. I like the historical aspect of places, and that intrigues me. And just somehow I end up doing paranormal stuff too. So
you go to a lot of these old places. There's a lot of history there.
I love history. I mean, that's why that's one of the things I like when I do my channel is I'll travel to historical places and stuff like that a lot of people don't know, and I'll actually get people comment on there. I never knew that. And like,
also the place we just went to, on the way back, we found something we didn't expect. We found this old what was it?
It was a kiln.
Yeah, 1800s kiln that was surrounded by this fencing. Didn't expect to see that. It's just we always take the back roads because when you take the back roads, you find the coolest stuff. Yeah. So we found this old 1800s kiln. There's no marker or nothing to say how old it was. We tried to look up history of it, but it's hard to find the stuff. And then there was nobody around to ask, but it seemed like it was on this person's farmland, but they're keeping it up the best they can. It's falling apart, but we did a small video there too.
Of course, what you get with these old historical buildings is all that residual energy that's been there throughout the years. And who knows if someone has died on the property. Or, of course, in Michigan, we have all the native Indians, you know.
Me and Buddy, we found Chief Okemos' gravesite.
Yeah,
well,
I had that on the
I
list.
did find out, though, just to correct you on that one, I did find out later on that the stone that we found is actually his gravesite. His body has actually been moved.
Oh.
He's on his family's property.
Okay.
And they said, but they left that stone there, and they have ceremonies out there.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Ceremony. It's a beautiful place.
His
it's
body's
free.
actually been moved.
Was that one of those secluded?
Yeah, it's out in the woods.
No, it's not. There's no marker, and it is not. You can look it up on Google Maps or whatever. It'll show you the area, but you gotta do your Columbo instincts and stuff. That's
you gotta
what we
go
had to
through
do.
basically like a trail. Out in the woods.
Yeah.
We found
find
it
You've been to Hell's Bridge at midnight.
Hell's Bridge.
a few times.
A few times. Any
First-
experiences there?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. First time I went, I got experience. I was scared to death going by myself, but I did it. But I didn't expect to get.
Never hunt alone, by the way.
Yeah, never do. That was when I first started, and my one friend that lives in Kentucky said you can do this and stuff, and I said okay. It's pitch black. There's no lights, nothing.
It's
dark.
way out there too, right? Brandon's been there. It's a little hard to find in the dark, I think.
Yeah, it's you're going down like a trail to get there. There is some houses like in the area, but not like when the brush is all cut down. You can see kind of some of the houses, but from there you're not going. You're going through in the woods down a trail in the woods to get to it.
In the middle of the woods, yes, to get to it.
I mean, it basically tells people the way if you go out there at night, let's say, It's so dark out there. Keep your ears open, because then as soon as you hear the water of the river, you know you're in that area, because it gets so dark out there that you could almost fall over something.
Yeah,
you
you
know,
can't see
you
nothing
can't see
if you have
nothing,
lights. And
you know.
Yeah, I've never been there. I know Brandon has.
it's pretty neat, but it's like one of those. It's like urban legend thing.
Right.
You don't
exactly.
know if it's true or not, but
Now, what's the
some of
story there, Brandon?
That one was, I think it's Elias Frisky or whatever, was supposed to have been like a serial killer who
Yeah, he killed
murdered a bunch of children and threw their bodies in the river.
yeah,
Well, it's right there is more kind of like a crick. It's more urban legend. They're like if he would have killed as many as what they say, like
There'd been a
there'd be a
right.
you know a
Damn
paper
dead
trail
bodies.
following
Right.
behind that, and
Mm-hmm.
so it seems more like it was more kind of just like an urban legend, more than anything on that. But even if the story's not true, if everybody's going out there believing in that, you can actually create a tulpa. So you can create that spirit, even though he didn't exist in life. You can create an energy in that
Right.
spot. And this is a spot where you have teenagers going out there all the time to scare themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You're releasing a lot of energy into that environment.
Who knows what they're bringing with
Yeah.
them? Maybe
Yeah.
Ouija board.
Yeah, there's videos and stuff on
Well,
it.
there's lots of graffiti out there on the trees
Yeah.
and everything.
Oh
You
yeah.
know.
Go ahead.
I think I'm the first person to ever live stream. I did a live stream there when me and Buddy and our other friend Sherry went. I'm the only one I think that's ever done a real live stream to bring people to show it. But we caught some stuff. I don't know if I caught anything with Buddy and Sherry, but I did catch stuff with Darren and some crazy stuff.
Jamie Ray. was
Jamie
out there.
Ray, yeah, we went when we're going. I was the first one, and Jamie Ray stayed in the middle, and Darren was in the end. And before we got to the trail, I kind of looked up, and I'm like, "What in the world?" There's a chicken sitting on a branch watching us. There's a chicken there. We're like,
Chicken.
There
was
is
a
a lot.
chicken.
There is a lot of wildlife
I
out
was
in
gonna
Hell's
say,
Bridge.
sure it wasn't a turkey.
"Oh, it was a chicken." He was looking at me, and I was looking at him. I said, "I'm not gonna bother you if you don't bother me." So
Chicken up in the tree.
he was protecting something, and
Turkeys roosting in trees. I don't know.
it was a chicken up there. You'd
Well,
have to
that'd be
ask
pretty
Darren about
startling,
that
though,
one.
when a turkey goes to fly up in a tree.
Oh yeah,
Sitting
they
up
make
there
a
in the
lot of
dark,
racket.
yeah.
Yeah.
But we caught some stuff that night, and Darren's like, maybe it's because of the water and stuff too, maybe. So.
Water creates the energy that
Mhm.
they can use, right?
But it's funny, some people get so scared. I don't get scared when I see stuff or anything. Nothing scares me. It's
It's
just
like I
like,
tell people when I go explore cemeteries. I love going into cemeteries, not because it's a cemetery, but the history. I just
Tons of history.
recently learned that we learned it when we both went there together. Because I took him over in Lansing to visit Ari Old's gravesite. Well, we ran into this lady that was going around there.
Historian.
She saw us going around there, and her name is Loretta Stanaway. She's the leader of this group in Lansing called the Friends of Historical Cemeteries. And she knows everything about these cemeteries. She goes to each one. She took us up, and I've lived in Lansing all my life, and I never knew the very guy that John Wilkes Booth died in his arms is buried in Lansing Cemetery.
Oh,
yep. Did not know that
Never
either.
knew
Like,
that.
wow.
I mean, I was like, wow.
yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, he was buried. He's buried out there in our cemetery.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was part of the group that hunted John Wilkes Booth
Yep,
down.
and he died right in his
Died
arms.
right in the guy's arms, and he's
Okay.
buried in the cemetery up there.
Yeah, that's some piece of history right there. You
Mhm.
guys, I said this before we went on the air. You've probably been to more locations that have paranormal possibilities than most paranormal teams.
Mm.
I mean, your list is extensive between the museums and the cemeteries, and you've done some of this with other people, which I can appreciate. Any other teams that you've worked with in the area?
Yeah, there's the group that's in Lansing, at the school, the I can't think of the name of them now. Ben is
Ben,
the
right.
Ben.
With Afterlife Road.
Yeah, that's
Paranormal.
it. Afterlife Road. We worked with them.
Oh,
I
yeah.
worked with them.
I actually met him after he met him at the hospital.
Stimson
I've
Hospital.
Stimson Hospital, right? You
Yeah.
mentioned that one.
I met him over in MSU. They were having a haunted tour, walk around tour.
So he
in-
kind
in
of collabed
MSU.
with them too. So I want to work with Ben again. He was really cool to work with.
Yeah, they do some impressive films.
Yes, they do. And I'm like, man, you guys deserve more subscribers than what you got on your YouTube channel. I'm like,
Yeah.
they're top notch
Yeah.
videos they do.
I'd play their stuff like at a Halloween party back to back because it's pretty creepy the way they do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they put good content.
And he's
into
real.
it.
He's real too. He's not fake like some of these people are, and he's the real deal. He's very good.
I asked him if they scripted any of that stuff and then they'll be running through the cemeteries. It's like they're dropping the camera.
Right.
I thought I was like Blair Witch Project for a minute there. I felt like I was running with them through some of these cemeteries.
When we did the Stimson Hospital, I'm like, I want to spend 10 minutes alone in the haunted room there, and I felt something in there, but I wasn't expecting to see anything or whatever. But then afterwards, when I got my video upload, I always ask my subscribers, I said, if you guys see or hear anything, let me know in the comments below. Timestamp it. And I guess one of my friends, she does the paranormal stuff too. She timestamped a bunch of spots, and she goes, you got to zoom in. There was you could see an outline of a woman in a nurse's uniform and stuff while I was in the room by myself. And that's the stuff I can't see. So hey guys, help me out. If you guys see anything, let me know. And then I turned the video camera off just as I was about to leave the room, and all of a sudden I heard a growl. And I'm like, where'd that come from? That scared the crap out of me. I was like, what?
Right.
And then that's when Ben came up and he goes, did you just hear that? I said, yeah, I did not get that on film though.
Yeah.
I'm like, dang.
Growls are real scary, or if
Yeah.
you get like a breath that's like right in your ear, and then everybody hears it at the same time, and everybody's going like, what was that?
I want to go back there. I told the owners, because they're fixing it up on their own. And I said, once you guys get this fixed up, I want to come back. They said, yeah, they're welcoming me back and stuff to do another video and stuff there. And I even went down to the morgue by myself and tried to talk to the doctor that's fell to his death there. And,
Oh yeah.
and I caught, like, again, I had my friends timestamp stuff, and they timestamped they caught outline of the doctor's face and stuff down there, and I was like, wow, that's just amazing.
We have a lot of things here in Michigan. Sounds like you've been to quite a few of them. Have you ever been to Bath, Michigan?
Yes.
Yep.
It's one of my favorite places. I've told him. Now, see, me, I said, I don't dabble into the paranormal totally. But I've told him, I've never seen anybody do. I've looked up at videos on YouTube and all that. And I've been to the Bath School disaster site many, many times. I've been to the museum. I've been at where Keyhole's farm used to be.
Yeah, he went to Keyhole's farm.
And all that. And I thought about it. I was like, you know, Rob, we need to get Lakeshore and all them together, and we need to go out there and do a spirit box or whatever like that. You know, because think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of children died there.
Right on that spot. And,
You
Brandon,
know.
can you give a little background on Bath for the viewers and listeners?
Yeah, the one that was Andrew Kehoe. He was on the school board, and he basically worked as like a janitor there. And what he did is he didn't want to pay property taxes on for the school. So basically, what he did is he went and put dynamite underneath the school building. And his plan was to blow it up, and ended up blowing up half the building. Thankfully, the other half didn't detonate.
Yeah, it could have been worse.
Yeah,
yeah.
and he killed his wife before he went out there, and I think he blew himself up in the truck, filled with shrapnel. So then that ended up killing another kid that had survived the original one, and it killed
Well,
the
the other
school board
thing,
president. I think.
the other thing is that a lot of people don't. I found out from townspeople that one thing is after he killed his wife, and after the school blew up, people were rushing down there to find out what's going on, and he was standing at this end of the road, and he told the people, says, "You guys are my friends. You need to get to the school." And all that, and it's just to warn them, almost to warn them, but I don't know why, but it was that's what he said. Like I said, he drove up there, called the superintendent out, and all that, and then aimed his gun at the dynamite in the back of his truck and blew it up.
Very tragic. It reminds me of like maybe the Twin Towers, where so many people died, all at once. What
these
kind
kids.
of energy? Yeah, only at Bath it was children mostly. I mean, it wasn't all children. There was teachers.
Well, and that's
that
the
died, too.
sad thing is when I first did my video, it was right after the Sandy Hook shootings and all that. And to this day, that is the worst school disaster in American history.
The Bath.
Bath school disaster is still the worst school disaster, and nobody talks about it.
Nobody know. A lot of people.
They always talk about Sandy Hook and Columbine and all that. Cause they never talk about the Bath school disaster. And one of the reasons why it's on their marker is the next day, the front page should have been about the Bath school disaster, but no, it was about Lindbergh crossing the ocean.
Oh,
Crazy.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Well, that too, just from a historical one too. You don't have like the 24/7 media. I mean, if it were today,
That's what I'm
that had
thinking.
happened, it'd be
Right.
all over the news.
Yeah.
And like during its anniversaries and stuff. But
Right.
And
yeah, back then you just
They
had the
do have
newspaper,
a museum there. It's actually in their middle school, and you can go in there and visit it. You just have to go to the school office and they say, "Can I go in?" And they say, "Yeah, go right ahead." There's all kinds of information down there about the school disaster and all that kind of stuff.
You feel energy when you go there. I felt it too. There's people.
I was curious about that.
Yeah, there's people there. When I went there by myself, there was people setting up for. They. It's kind of nice that they turned it into a park and stuff now, and they still do stuff. They still celebrate it and the area and stuff, and but it's like you feel stuff there when you go there. I felt something, and I'm just like, wow, there's something here, and then they try to make it a happy place now,
Right.
but you can still feel sadness and stuff
Right.
there. So
Well, Keyhole's wife is actually buried in Mount Hope Cemetery in Lansing, and she was actually related to the Sparrow family from the Sparrow Hospital.
You guys would be good, like on a trivia night,
Right.
Michigan trivia.
Well,
night.
I've learned all this stuff.
Going
When
to
I
these
started this, I
places,
told you
right.
I'm a history buff, and,
Sure.
and talking to people, they're the ones telling me this, and it drills right into my head.
Yeah, we go to these
Yeah.
places, and then something like I said before, we went to Marshall. Some of the places me and Buddy go to, the people are like, they don't want nothing to do with the YouTubers, even though we're into the history or whatever. But then we go to Marshall, and it's like they basically treat us like we were family and stuff. We were just walking down the street. We were not expecting anything. We just liked the history of the places. And then we stopped in the front of this movie theater in Marshall, just videoing the outside or whatever. One of the workers, Bogart, yeah.
Yep, Bogart Theater.
One of the workers opens the door. What are you guys doing? And we told him, and hey, you want a tour? We got a tour of the whole Bogart Theater and got it all on video, and was not expecting that. And then we go to the clubhouse or whatever it's called, and this is where the Honolulu house comes into play. We were sitting in there, the guy comes across the street, opens the Honolulu house for free, and we got the tour of the whole Honolulu house, and that's supposed to be haunted.
And it was
too.
kind of cool too. There was the day of a Michigan State game.
Yeah,
There was actually a
we
Michigan
invited
State
his
football
game.
game and all that. And I was like, he's like, well, I'll take the time so I can get back to the game. And I was like, well, you don't have to do this. And we told him, well, you don't have to do this. If you want to go back and watch the game, go watch the game, man.
And
Nope, that's okay, man. We'll take you on
there's
a
so
tour.
much history in Marshall. There's history about Underground Railroad
Underground
stuff.
Railroad there.
The slave owners from Tennessee came to Marshall to take back the slaves and stuff, and then I guess the people of Marshall protected them, and there's like a whole story about.
Well,
that.
Marshall was actually second in line to be
the
capital.
capital.
Oh,
Yeah.
before they chose Lansing. Then Marshall was originally in line to be the capital.
Yeah, it even has a governor's mansion, which I actually did a ghost
Mm-hmm.
tour. We actually got to go into the governor's mansion. That's rumored to be haunted too. So
Yep, and then I think the hotel that's there. I think the hotel that's there is the oldest one in Michigan, and that's supposed to be haunted by slaves, and there's supposed to be a tunnel and stuff there. And we asked one of the ladies that worked there about it. There was a lady in red that's supposed to haunt that,
Oh yeah,
and she's like, I have never seen that.
yeah. She
or
said it
whatever."
wasn't. It's not true. She said it was not true, but it's
Right.
funny that they do honor it there because
Mhm.
when I went back for Skeleton Fest, like I told you, where they did all the skeletons out in front of the shops, they actually had a
Lady,
skeleton
in red.
with a red
Oh, yeah.
dress on.
probably
So they're-
ghost pasta for sale or
Right.
You know,
ghost vodka.
But the history is so interesting. Though.
Yeah. You've been to some other small towns that are interesting to me. Coopersville is
Yeah.
one of them, the home of Del Shannon. And if you don't know who Del Shannon is, it's probably because you're younger.
Yep.
But he was '60s rocker that he
Hall of
avoided,
Fame.
and he had he invented an instrument that was the precluded the synthesizer. He had
Oh,
an
yeah.
organ that has special sound that they invented. And then another place that you went to has nothing to do with the paranormal, but I'm interested in it, is the Car Museum.
No, the Gilmore
Car Museum.
That's
Tell me about that place. Is that worth it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. I thought maybe it might be.
It's the way they got it set up is like 30s style of vehicles, how like the old factories and stuff used to look like. They have a Lincoln, one for Lincoln. Or they rent out the places, I guess, all the different car companies and people's private cars. There's some very amazing, beautiful cars there.
Is that like acres of cars?
acres and
oh yeah,
acres of
that's supposed to
cars?
be. I've never actually been there. I've been meaning to get there, but he said he's been there.
Walt Disney used to go there all the time.
Well,
His-
they have a set from one of the movies.
yeah,
From
the
there,
gnome-
the gnome movie.
the Gnome is actually there. Walt Disney's was friends with Gilmore, and Gilmore's the one that started. He started as his own collection, and it blew up. And he was friends with Walt Disney, and people didn't know Walt Disney came to not Grand Rapids, but he came to West Michigan a lot.
Yeah.
And he visited him. He was at Gilmore Car Museum, and he donated one of the sets and stuff to the Gilmore Car Museum and the actual Gnome-mobile car. So you can go to there and you could get sit on the set and everything there.
Oh, you can't sit in it anymore. They don't allow you to sit in it anymore.
Oh yeah, I got lucky. I got to sit on the actual car seat. It's a big seat. It looks like a
Makes
big
you
old
look like a
couch,
gnome.
but yeah, it's neat.
But I've heard that because of the years that people sitting on it and got tore up, so they stopped letting you sit on it anymore.
I knew about
Yeah.
Walt Disney. He also went to the museum, the Bernard Historic Museum. He was friends with Dr. Bernard out in
Well, I don't
Hastings.
think,
Really?
I don't know if Walt Disney was. I know Bernard was
No,
one
we,
with.
we went there this last time. We saw books where
Oh, where it actually
Where-
had him
yeah,
too. Okay,
Walt
I knew
Disney
Bernard
had-
was like friends with Gilmore. Like he donated stuff there. That was one of our investigations.
right.
Like our medium was picking up on that something to do with the automobiles, and we found out that he donated
Is
like a
there
bunch of
another
stuff too.
is there another museum in Hastings? The car museum?
No, not a car museum. It's the Bernard,
Bernard.
Historical
It's
Museum.
basically like they took a
Okay.
bunch of the historical buildings. I think it's more in Middleville.
Yeah.
But they took a bunch of the
I've heard of
historical
that.
buildings. So there's like an old schoolhouse, like old stores.
That's right. Yeah.
Like there's like an old like the hospital. The hospital was originally there on the property.
Yeah.
And then they have like a bunch of like artifacts and stuff through like all these different buildings.
Right.
I haven't explored there yet.
You should go
It's
there.
a really cool
That-
museum.
Oh yeah, they've got some artifacts there. That, the
Where's it
Indian
exactly
stuff they
at?
got out of there.
in
It's kind of
Middleville.
like it's like Middleville. It's like a Bernard. It's Bernard Museum.
Because they're not going to be open this time of the year.
Right.
They only
Right.
open like a couple days in the week in the summer even.
Yeah,
But
there's
the-
a lot of stuff me and Buddy are gonna do in the spring and summer where he was just.
Yeah.
Buddy
I keep
keeps
sending-
me stuff.
I keep
Like,
sending them things that I've got on Facebook and stuff like that, things that we could do and stuff like that. And
Mhm.
I know this time of year we can't do them, but I
It's
was
too
like,
cold.
Right.
you know, put it in another book or something. This is what you need to do.
Before we go too much farther, I want to play this EVP. We're still kind of reviewing because you are friends with everybody.
Right.
So we're still reviewing Darren. And it's one that we played on the show last time. That's a private case, but then Darren's just did another posting for the second part of this private investigation, and these are the apps that he uses. This next one's off an app.
What is your name?
Joanne.
Joanne, yeah.
That's clear as bell.
Yeah, whether there was anyone ever there that was named Joanne, I don't know. But unless you use these apps, you don't really know about them.
He's very good at using those apps. I like watching him.
He likes to try them out, and you never know. We had two different apps that gave us the same answer when we asked how many people. We had two different apps that said one. So we're really like we've gone through this hour real
I think
quick.
one of the apps he uses was through Huff Paranormal, I think.
Well, that one there was he called it a oh shoot.
Necrophonics or
Yeah.
something like that. I think
Yeah, I
that's
think
what
so,
that was
yeah.
called. I haven't used that one myself, but I think that's what.
Yeah,
it was
one of them
called.
that he
Something like-
uses is
similar to
definitely
that.
necrophonics.
Mm-hmm.
We go into, if you got any upcoming events, we'll do that right now. If you want to plug any upcoming events, and then we'll get into our final thought. I know Brandon usually got stuff that he has going.
Not really. I got an interview. It's not like a paranormal interview I'm doing on my channel, but it's with a bigger YouTuber friend of mine called Arizona Ghost Riders.
So watch for that.
Yeah, watch for that.
Yeah, let
he's
people
awesome.
know how to find you, what to look for, both of you guys.
Just look me up on YouTube at Michigander Man, and you'll see
Fans
my,
of Michigander, man.
Well,
isn't it?
that's my Facebook
Oh.
thing, but it's called Michigander Man on YouTube.
Do you know there's a band in Kalamazoo called Michigander?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
they're
looked
really
them up.
good.
Mhm.
Rock band. And they have a song out, Ghost. If it had better lyrics, I would have used it for your literary
Right.
reference. But it was a love song. So, and then, Buddy, tell people how they can find you.
I'm on
What to look
YouTube
for.
as The Traveling Buddy. Is that my coming up with things? I just did a video. I haven't uploaded it yet, but I just went to Browners in Frankenmuth, Michigan, the Christmas Wonderland store, the world's largest Christmas store in the world.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah, support these guys and Darren, too, right?
Darren.
Darren
Oh,
Dykoff.
yeah.
Support him and Jamie.
Jamie
They're going to
and
be
Darren
back
are
on
awesome.
in 2020. And we'll have
Me-
to have you guys back on, too, because, of course, we didn't get through
Yeah,
the
I'll
list.
probably-
We
I-
never do.
I might be having some stuff come up with Darren. I'm trying to. We went to this old store. I think it's in Door now. The lady, I ran into her at Walmart where I work at, and she's telling us that her store is haunted. So me and Darren went out there to check it out and stuff. And it's legit, but I have not been able to get a hold of the lady to see if we could do an investigation there. But the store is over 100 years old.
Oh, nice.
So I'm
Yeah.
working on that. Hopefully we can get her by the beginning of next year or something.
Apparently, Darren went back to the old Allegan County Jail Museum. We didn't really talk about that one, but you guys had been out there. He went
I
there
haven't
with
been
Ben.
there.
That's
He
where the
had-
bat.
That's where the bat
Bat
flew
in
right
the
in my
face.
face. I opened up the door. The bat had been in another part of the building, so I wasn't really looking for it. But as soon as I opened up that door, it was right in my face. I squealed like a little girl.
Yeah, me and Darren caught a bat
I'm
in
not
the
kidding.
poorhouse. There was a bat in one of the rooms or whatever. Scared the crap out of me. But
Yeah, I don't like bats. They should be paranormal.
Yeah.
They're creepy enough. But Brandon, I know you must have some stuff coming up.
Yeah, I just wanted to next Wednesday at 7. You can join us on live stream for the Kent County Paranormal page. That's the Teams podcast. We're going to be having Raymond Taffy Williams on as our guest. He's a member of GRASP. He was a member of the British Special Forces. He'll be sharing some paranormal stories with us. And
That's it?
that's it. Yep.
Did you guys get out to the USS LS-393 ship in
No,
No,
I
I
want to
didn't.
go out
Yeah,
there.
me
see
too.
that.
Because that was something Brandon just did.
Yeah,
and
he
had
just
some
did
other teams
that,
out
and he
there,
went
right?
there, and I was like, oh, I've been wanting to go there.
Yeah, I think that'd be worth it. And whatever little bit they ask to walk through that would be well worth it. Okay, now we get into our final thought. And this is how I have fun with this every time. Whenever stuff comes out that I don't really expect. But paranormal bucket list. And you guys don't have to consider it paranormal, but I think Brandon should consider his a paranormal bucket list. Is there something that you want to do before you're on the other side of the veil here?
Yeah, for me, it's like I love history, like Civil War, American Revolution. So mine would probably be like Gettysburg. One of my ancestors served at Vicksburg, so I'd like to check that out. And I had a family member too, back in the family tree that died at Andersonville. So those would be kind of ones I'd probably like to
I
check
thought you
out.
might pick something like that, or maybe
Yeah.
the Winchester building or something. I thought you might pick something
The
like
Winchester one would be a very interesting.
Yeah.
I'd be afraid I'd fall through a trap door or
Right.
something. I
Right.
think.
that. Yeah, you could get lost in there. I
Yeah.
bet.
Well, you have doors
easily.
that open up to nothing, or where you're going right down onto the knives in the next room. Like.
We have every year we go on a trip with a group of YouTuber friends, and what the paranormal, they put it all on. They put all this stuff together, and we get to go travel different states every year. This next year we're going to be going to Las Vegas, Nevada. This year was Gatlinburg. So every year they got a different spot and stuff to plan. They already have it planned ahead of time. They already got the next trip for 2020, I think, planned, or 2021 planned, but every year it's different spots. And
What's the ultimate place that you want to go and do a vlog? Doesn't necessarily have to be paranormal for you, because I know you're into a lot.
I'm into all of
Right.
it.
So is there a place, and maybe not even Michigan, because I know there's a lot of places in Washington, D.C., that a lot of history, Smithsonian. Is there something? Well, I'm going to tell you mine, and you guys think about it in a minute more. Like, I might want to see the pyramids. I don't know if they're paranormal, but the residual
Right.
energy.
I'm sure there's probably. I'm pretty sure
Something
that was
there.
built for them to live, in the afterlife. So I'm sure there's some activity there, or wherever they got their mummy got stolen and taken off.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, so I would like to feel that energy at at some pyramid, I think, if I could ever. I don't know, see that happening. Or my grandfather was a paranormal investigator, ghost hunter. If somehow I could go back in time and do one hunt with him, I would like that. So those are my two bucket list things. I can't see one of them ever happening unless we go back in time. But
Or once you're on the other side, then you might
Right.
be working some cases with them again.
Mine would be
okay, you got one now.
Yeah, I got
Okay, good.
Tombstone, Arizona. I want to go to Tombstone
Yeah, that's a good one.
and visit the Birdcage Theater.
Okay.
So I got friends, like I said, the Arizona Ghost Rider is a very good friend of mine, Santee, and I got invited whenever I get the money.
Nice.
So I'm like, dang, I want to go there so bad. That's one of the places I want to go to. And Gettysburg.
Gettysburg, yeah.
Yes.
We have to have a bunch of us all get together and do a road trip out
That's
there.
what we, yeah.
I
that'd
would
be
love to
neat.
go to Gettysburg.
Yeah.
Buddy, how about you? Maybe we should send you to Alcatraz or something. There's a lot of history there.
Oh, I would love to go to Alcatraz
Yes.
someday. But I would say if it has to be paranormal, I think one of the biggest things I wouldn't mind doing that I hear people talk about once in a while is the White House and go
Oh.
into the Lincoln bedroom.
Well, I've been to the
And
White House.
Stay in the Lincoln bedroom because they say that it's extremely haunted in there.
Oh, yeah. And maybe going down in the
No.
tunnels underneath.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, that's even like the one of Winston Churchill. He was in the bathtub. He was getting out of the tub and he's seen Abraham Lincoln. And he's like, sir, or Mr. President, you got me at a disadvantage. And then Lincoln smiled and disappeared.
Disappeared.
I
Yeah.
think I heard something about
Yeah.
that.
We've talked
funny.
about traveling M66 too. Me and buddy.
Or Michigan's
Michigan's
Route 66.
Route 66. We thought about doing that.
Well,
maybe
that's
in
the one thing
summer.
I'm gonna try and do my bucket list when we said we were going to Vegas for the reunion thing next year. I'm trying to convince my work to let me take a 2-week vacation. First week I'm gonna go to Vegas, do their little, our reunion thing, but then I want to rent a minivan, and I want to take Route 66 all the way back home.
Yeah, I've been on that Route 66.
I've never been to Route 66.
I'll
That's
see you
my
guys
bucket
on Route
list.
66.
Well, that's gonna be me. I'm like, he said he's.
He leaving him home?
No,
Robert's got to
oh,
stay
yeah.
home.
He's if he comes, he's bringing his family. So I don't
Yeah.
think
I'm a
I'll
family
be by
man.
myself doing Route 66. I
Okay.
said that's on my bucket list.
Okay, buddy, Robert. We have some stuff coming up. I mean, this is it for this year. You guys are the last show. I'm glad you guys could do this last show. I thought it was very appropriate. As much stuff as
Thank you
guys
for
need
having
to.
us.
Right. But we've got some stuff planned in 2020. Our first guest is a healer, a Coptic teacher and intuitive, a master in esoteric healing. So we've had some fascinating, interesting guests. She may be the most intriguing guest so far. And then that's going to start how we're going to start out 2020. And we got Mary Bassett that's coming. And I don't want to give it away, but she's going to bring a partner with her. And she's into spiritual voice podcast. It specializes in meditation. We're bringing Jamie Ray back
Awesome.
in February. And then if Jamie comes, Darren has to come.
Darren's right
So
there.
Darren will be back. He would have liked to have been here instead in on this one.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh,
right. I mean, we thought we were going to have a full house. So Kim's at home, and Ryan Mason may be back in 2020, but we like to keep it to 4 people. This works pretty good in this studio. So, yeah, we're going to be back just as good as ever. And I want to thank everybody that's been part of this program throughout the year, all the guests, Gene, WKTV, Brandon, making this possible. Our guests have been so fascinating, and you guys are bad to the bone.
Well,
Nice
I
show,
appreciate
We
it.
guys.
always
I
got
appreciate
stuff
it,
coming
man.
up. So
I appreciate it.
You bet.
know.
To come back in 2020, okay?
Mhm.
Hey, you invite me back.
yeah,
I mean,
okay.
I'm
yes,
open.
we'll be here.
Thanks.
This is awesome.
Peace out.